Yesterday we have seen. Yesterday we had seen this donations. Donations are of two types: general donations and specific donations. General donations is without telling any purpose, whatever it may be, the donations that we give. Okay, we'll call that thing as general donation. And the second type is specific donations. Specific donations are those donations which are given for a specific purpose. Those donations will call them as specific donations. And after that, entrance fees. This is also one of the important things that we come across. When we are entering into any club or any hospital or any non-profit organization, okay, it is compulsory that we have to pay the entrance fees. And this entrance fees, you have to take into account whether the entrance fees is of small amount or a big amount. When it is a small amount, you can consider that entrance fees as the income. But when the entrance fees is big, bigger amount, then it is compulsory that we have to capitalize that entrance fees amount. Okay, and it will be shown on the liability side of the balance sheet. Okay, as an addition to the capital fund, or you can show that as separately. But thing is here, okay, what we have to do with the entrance fees, they will specify in the problem. Entrance fees must be capitalized. So when they give like this, okay, the whole entrance fees, we have to show that on the liability side of the balance sheet. This is about the entrance fees. And specific, I mean, sale of asset. Whenever any asset, when they become old, automatically the non-profit organizations, they won't keep that asset. They'll sell the asset in the market, and whatever it may be, the amount that they receive, they'll show that on the receipt side of the receipts and payments account. And the same thing, it will have its effect in the income and expenditure account. The amount received from sale of an asset appears on the debit side of receipts and payments account. The, s- the sale proceeds of the asset should be compared with its book value to find out the profit or loss on the sale of an asset. If profit, if profit, if profit, it will be shown on the credit side, and if loss, on the debit side of income and expenditure account. See, when you are selling an asset, you have to take into account the book value. You have to take into account the book value of the asset, and you have to see whether you got profit amount or loss amount. Okay, you got whether you got profit amount or loss amount, and if you come across profit, it should be shown on the income side, and if you come across loss, it should be shown on the expenditure side, like to loss on sale of asset, and here by profit on sale of assets. So sometimes, okay, another item is also to be sold, that is sale of newspapers. Sale of newspapers, in the same way, sale of grass. So whatever it may be, the sale of newspapers, it is nothing but one type of income, and you have to show that on the income side of the income and expenditure side. The item appears on the debit side of receipts and payments account, and should be taken on the credit side of income and expenditure account as an income. Next, specific fund items. When we go for specific fund items, okay, when we go for specific fund items like tournament fund, okay, entertainment fund, like that, you'll come across. And at the same time, when you come across expenses, what we have to do? Okay, we have to compare the fund as well as expenses. If And you have to deduct the expenses from the tournament fund, and the remaining balance you have to show that on the liability side of the balance sheet. In the same way, entertainment fund, You have to look after whether entertainment expenses are there or not. If entertainment expenses are there, you have to see whether the fund amount is more or the expenses amount is more. Okay, if the expenses are less, then you have to deduct these expenses from the fund, and the remaining amount you have to show that on the liability side of the balance sheet. This is how you will come across specific funds. Okay, so these are the various items that we come across when we go for a non-profit organization. When we go for this non-profit organizations, okay, what is the main source of income? The main source of income is nothing but subscriptions. Okay, సబ్స్క్రిప్షన్స్. ఓకే, దీన్ని తెలుగులో ఏమంటారంటే విరాళాలు అంటారు. ఓకే, అండ్ డొనేషన్స్ అంటే చందాలు. You have to understand the Telugu terminology also, thereby it will be easy for you to understand. Okay, చందాలు అంటే డొనేషన్స్ అని, విరాళాలు అంటే సబ్స్క్రిప్షన్స్. And what is the difference between this donations and subscriptions? Subscriptions are to be paid by the members every year without any fail. Okay, and whatever it may be, the subscriptions paid by the members of the non-profit organization, it is the main source of income for a non-profit organization. Mind it, the subscriptions are the main source of income for a non-profit organization. And donations, once in a blue moon they'll come, sometimes they won't come across also. Okay, so you cannot rely completely on donations, because they are not, okay, perfect, and they are not every year the amounts. Okay, depending upon the occasion, depending upon the circumstances, the donations will come. But okay, compulsory payment by its members, of a non-profit organization, we have to take into account as the main source of income for a non-profit organization. So those are nothing but subscriptions. And here, when we go for subscriptions, okay, subscriptions of current year, subscriptions of last year, and subscriptions of future year also, they will come in, they will come. So when they are coming, okay, all these things, they will appear in the receipts and payments account, on the receipt side of the account. But when we are going for income and expenditure account, you should not take into account the previous year or the coming year's subscriptions. Only the current year subscriptions only you have to take into account. Okay, mind it. Once again, I'm telling you, whenever you come across previous year or current previous year or future year or current year subscriptions, all those things will appear on the receipt side of the receipts and payments account. But when we are going for income and expenditure account, you have to show you have to show only the current year subscriptions plus current year outstandings. This current year outstandings you have to add to the main subscriptions of the current year, and then only the remaining, I mean, the total amount you have to show in the outer column. But previous year subscriptions and future year subscriptions you should not consider at all in income and expenditure account. Then where they must come? They will come only in the balance sheet. Okay, only in the balance sheet only they'll come. Okay, so this is how you will come across about the main source of a non-profit organization, that is nothing but subscriptions. And to this subscriptions will come across some adjustments. Okay, what are the adjustments that we come across? Okay, you will be given the previous year subscriptions and the previous year's, I mean, outstanding amounts. Okay, coming year subscriptions. Okay, current year subscriptions outstanding and subscriptions received. So when you are given like this, what we have to do, we have to take into account what are the actual current year subscriptions. That thing you have to take into account. That thing we will come across, we have to show subscriptions to be shown in income and expenditure account. In that head you have to take all these things, and some items you have to add and some items you have to deduct, and whatever it may be, the remaining amount you have to show that in the income and expenditure account as an income on the income side. Okay, but you should not take into account all the items, okay, whatever he had given in the problem. First of all, you have to take into account what is the subscriptions received, whether any outstandings of previous year, or whether any amounts of future year, whether they are there, and I mean whether we are having the current year subscriptions outstanding. All these things you have to concentrate, and then only, okay, you have to calculate the subscriptions amount to be shown in income and expenditure account. For that, some of the items are to be added and some of the items are to be deducted. So what are the items that are to be added and what are the items are to be deducted? I am going to explain that. Okay. Yeah. For ascertaining the amount, actually, not that, just a minute. Yeah. Subscriptions. Okay. Subscriptions to be shown in income and expenditure account. That is the thing that we have to take into account. Now, when we are going, first of all, you have to take into account subscriptions actually received during the year. Subscriptions actually received during the year you have to take. And for that, you have to add outstanding subscriptions of the current year at the end of the year. Outstanding subscriptions of the current year you have to add. Then add subscriptions of the current year received in last year. Received in last year, that is previous year. Those subscriptions also you have to add. Then some items you have to deduct. What are they? Less outstanding subscriptions of the last year received in current year. Those subscriptions, they belong to last year, but when you receive them in current year, that amount you have to deduct. Then after that, less subscriptions of the next year, that is future year. These two things you have to deduct, and the first two things you have to add. Then only you will come to know about subscriptions to be shown in income and expenditure account. This is the thing that you will come across. In the same way, in the same way, you will come across some expenditure, especially when you go for stamps and stationery, you will come across these adjustments. Okay, there you will come across opening balance of stationery, creditors for, I mean, the stationery, and stationery paid during the year, and closing balance of stationery. Similarly, closing balance of creditors to be paid. So here also you have to take into account what is the actual stationery we have to show in income and expenditure account. So amount paid for stationery during the year. What is the amount paid? Okay, what is the amount paid that you come across during the year? For that, add stock of stationery at the beginning of the year. Stock of stationery at the beginning of the year you have to add. Then add advance payment for stationery made at the end of last year. Okay, advance payment for stationery made at the end of last year, that is previous year. Okay, last year you will pay some amount, some advance amount. That amount also you have to add. Then add creditors for stationery at the end of the current year. At the end of the current year, whatever it may be, the creditors amount, you have to add that. Okay, like this, for amount paid for stationery, you have to add these three items. Then less creditors for stationery at the beginning of the year. Okay, what are the creditors at the beginning of the year? You have to deduct that. Similarly, less stock of stationery at the end of the year. What is the stock, closing stock of stationery that was there? You have to deduct. Then less advance payment for stationery made at the end of the current year. advance payment made, okay, advance payment made for stationery made at the end of the current year, that thing also you have to deduct. Thereby you'll come across what is the stationery used, what is a stationary use. You'll come across all these, okay, things when you go for non-profit organizations. And when you are going for non-profit organizations, I want to tell you, you must keep your concentration, you must keep your attention carefully on the problem, because so many people they'll get confused with this non-profit organizations only. Okay, most of the people they'll do mistakes in this, taking into account what is the subscriptions amount to be shown on to be shown in income and expenditure account. Similarly, what is the stationery that was used, okay, that was used during the current year. All these things, whenever you come across, automatically you'll come across some doubt or confusion. So every time when you are doing this non-profit organizations, you have to keep your attention on the problem and on the procedure. And one more thing is, when you know the procedure, you can do the problem without any difficulty. But when you are confused in the procedure, then automatically, okay, up to certain extent you can go. So the thing is, I'm not telling that you cannot do the problem, but up to certain extent you can go. But after that, okay, a trouble will come, a problem will come for you to complete the problem. Okay, so please keep your attention, or please keep your concentration while doing this non-profit organizations. Okay, now first of all, preparation of, okay, preparation of receipts and payments account. Okay, receipts you have to show that on the receipt side, and payments you have to show that on the credit side. Okay, this is the thing. And one more thing is, okay, for ascertaining the amount actually paid for any expense, proceed as follows. Expense as per income and expenditure account. Okay, you will take that thing. Add outstanding expenses in the beginning. Add prepaid expense at the end. Okay, less outstanding expenses at the end, less prepaid expenses in the beginning. So when you do this, automatically you will come across amount actually paid for the expense. This is also one of the important things that you have to understand. Next, for ascertaining the income actually received. Okay, what is the income that was actually received? Okay, income as per income and expenditure account. Add income received in advance at the end of the year. Income received in advance at the end of the year. Add income outstanding in the beginning of the year. These two things you have to add. Then less income received in advance in the beginning. That is from last year we will get, okay, less income outstanding at the end. When you do this, you will come across income actually received during the year. So sometimes you will be given like this. Okay, you won't be given the actual amount of income, similarly actual amount of expense. What they will do is, you will come across what I mean, the income to be shown in the income and expenditure account, and regarding various incomes. So when you want to go and find out the actual income received, you have to follow this. In the same way, when you want to know the actual amount paid for an expenditure, okay, there also what is the expenditure that you have to show in the income and expenditure account, they'll give along with some other adjustments. So you first of all you have to see, okay, whether actual expenditure was given or not. And this thing, when you come across, so when we go for receive, I mean, income and expenditure and balance sheet. See the peculiarity. When you are given the income and expenditure as well as balance sheet, and if you are asked to calculate the receipts and payments account, then These two things, they must be taken into account. The first two things, when you are going to prepare the income and expenditure account, you have to take that thing. When you are to prepare the receipts and payments account from the given income and expenditure and balance sheet, you have to follow the second two things that we come across. Okay, so this is the thing that we come across, and I am telling you right from the beginning, don't get yourself confused. Be attentive and be concentrative. When you keep your concentration on the problem and on the procedure, when you have that, automatically you can do the problem. Okay, so sometimes they'll give receipts and payments account, and they will ask you to prepare income and expenditure account and balance sheet. Sometimes what they will do is they'll give you the income and expenditure account as well as balance sheet, and they will ask you to prepare receipts and payments account. the second method the second method is somewhat difficult, because there you have to concentrate income and expenditure account as well as balance sheet, and then some adjustments whatever it was. So then only you can prepare the receipts and payments account. Okay, when receipts and payments account is given, and when you are asked to prepare the income and expenditure account and balance sheet, okay, fine, it will be good. You can do that. Okay, basing upon the procedure, basing on the principle that we have to take into account only the current year revenue items, that is current year revenue income and current year revenue expenses, you will take and you will prepare the income and expenditure. Okay, that is not a big question. But when we go in a reverse manner, when we go in a reverse manner, then only the problem comes. Okay, fine, I'm going to give you, okay, some of the things. Yeah, so one more thing is generally when we go for trading concerns, excess of assets over liabilities will take that as capital. But in non-profit organizations, we should not take that as capital. We have to consider that as capital fund or balance fund. And for that, when capital fund or balance fund at the beginning of the year, when it was not given, it is compulsory that you have to prepare the opening balance sheet. So when you are preparing the opening balance sheet, what you have to do, you have to take into account opening balance of assets and liabilities, and the difference between these two things will give you the capital fund or balance fund. This thing you have to take into account compulsory. Okay, unless otherwise there is no capital fund, we cannot continue and we cannot proceed further. And the problem is not set to be completed. Compulsory, we have to take into account the capital fund. And for the capital fund, you have to add the surplus or you have to deduct the deficit. Then only, whatever it may be, the capital fund, the balancing figure, you have to show that on the liability side of the balance sheet. Okay, ma. So I suppose that all the people they can able to understand this. Okay. So if any doubts are there, please give comments. And one more thing is I want to tell you in this context is don't keep, okay, unnecessary and vague comments. Don't keep unnecessary and vague comments which are not relevant to the subject. Whatever it may be, the doubts that you are having relating to the subject, if you keep that, then it will be happy for me to answer your doubts or queries, whatever it may be. But unnecessary matters, when you keep, which are irrelevant to the subject matter, I'm repeating two times, please, which are irrelevant to the subject matter, if you keep the comments, I'm sorry, I'm not going to answer to those comments. What are related to the subject, because I am concentrating on the subject matter and I want to see the questions relating to the subject matter, because I'm not telling that I'm a perfect person, I'm a genius and expert. I'm still picking pebbles on the seashore. I didn't gone to the sea. I didn't gone into the sea. I'm still picking pebbles. But when you keep this irrelevant questions, irrelevant comments, so I'm sorry, I'm not going to answer any such type of comments, please. Relating to the subject, whatever it may be, the doubts that you are having, if you keep them, okay, it is welcomed. I'm going to give answers as far as my knowledge is concerned. This is what I want to tell you to all the people, because I observed some comments which are not related to the subject, which are not related to the subject when I'm looking after the video classes, okay, of mine. I found two comments, and that two comments, they are very, very irrelevant to the subject matter. What is relevant, that thing only you please keep that. Okay, this is my humble request. I suppose that you can able to understand. Okay, so please, if you like this, please subscribe for my video classes. Thank you.